Continuing reading in Molasses Moon. This is where we left off on my Kindle Fire. Reading. I'll be setting it on the table like this. Except I'm going to make it a smaller print, so I have more on the page. So I just change that. Today, the date, February 15th, Wednesday, 2012, and we're on the last chapter of Molasses Moon, which also has an epilogue after the last chapter and a photo series. And I think I'll just jump right in, reading again where I left off in the last video sequence. I'll stop here and write the rest of this chapter later, in bits and pieces. I think I should leave some of the end to write when I get there, don't you? Asterisk. Stop. Wait. Wait. I'm not finished yet. I think I can imagine a better future. How about you? One I might not only like to come back to, but one I wouldn't have to leave. We can still learn to manipulate reality and time and be more than one place at one time. We can. I know it. I just don't know exactly how yet. But I've come mighty close. Don't you think? We're still individuals. The Bland Brigade hasn't won. We still have a fighting chance. But we don't need to fight. We just have to lighten up and delete even the idea of the necessity of self-sacrifice. Have fun. But remember your responsibilities and your promises. They're sacred. You can forget the tragedies. Tell them I said so. Holy shit, it's almost noon on March 30th. It's still 1994, as far as I know. It's time to get back to now, the beginning of chapter 14. I did finish the preface yesterday. I was afraid for a while it would yawn and stretch into a book, like a wise old yellow cat on an easy chair. The color reminds me, the page I showed on my Kindle Fire today was a different background and ink color. Today I was using a parchment background with black brownish color ink, and overall I've been using a black background with white ink. Just in case you wondered if you've looked at other videos. Of course, I can't be sure it won't do that at any time. I have little control over UC's insertions and extensions. Not that I really want to control them too much, except when they get in the way of my egg sandwich. I do appreciate them. I do. They seem to be the basis of my creativity. They're the opposite of gold's. My life would certainly be dull without creativity. I'm going to look at the last page for a minute here. Forgot something. I can't be sure it won't do that at any time. Do what? Oh, I was afraid for a while Well, for a while there it would yawn and stretch into a book. That meaning chapter 14. Yeah, that's true. Almost any chapter I've ever written could probably stretch into a book. And that's from now. Now back into this book of 1994. Stretch into a book like a wise old yellow cat on an easy chair. Of course, I can't be sure it won't do that at any time. I have little control over UC's insertions and extensions. Not that I really want to control them too much, except when they get in the way of my egg sandwich. Okay, now my brain is connected here. I do appreciate them. I do. They seem to be the basis of my creativity. They're the opposite of goals. I guess I'm talking about insertions. My life would certainly be dull without creativity, maybe even dead. Certainly lifeless and spiceless. And fireless. Not much fun. The fizz would be missing too. I think some people call their UCs a muse. But Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung have made an impression on me. I appreciate them too, though I don't worship them as some do. Carl does play an important role in the first 3 books of my Sun and Moon quartet. He's fun to play with. I completed chapter 12 and 13's revisions this morning. Well, I guess I can go to 14 now. Don't worry, I'll be back. I haven't left yet. Haven't left Earth, that is, except in my mind, when I take off through the ozone hole, which I made, as you know. It's an easy way to get through Earth's dense, heavy, limiting atmosphere. Achoo! Well, you should have heard my mom sneeze when she was baking bread in the basement of the malt shop that I talk about in Cola and Coca-Cola. She'd be down there every now and then, let out a big loud sneeze, and she was proud of the sound of her sneezes. And people could walk by on the sidewalk on the street above, and where the little window wells came up from the basement, they'd hear her sneezing, and everybody, that was sort of like a town joke, or just a warm sharing. Back to the book. I can't make myself get serious, thank God. Or should I thank me? Me. I can't leave before saying I don't hate goads. They have their place. They do a job. They don't deserve to be made into the bad guy. Actually, I kind of like them, sort of. I like to tease them. One of these days I'll learn how to play with them as well as I do extensions, insertions, and free-falling. Off the edge of nothing, into the unknown. Maybe if I told UC to use them, goads, as and when he wills, I could forget about them and let him take care of it. He'd like that, since he likes being in charge. Did I say somewhere books have spines? UC was laughing. Hell, what did I know about modems? Now we're into the beginning of the epilogue. Epilogue. Waiting for Godot. Okay, let's see. Phoebe, get comfortable. So epilogues are serious business. Yeah, let me take a break here. Get myself all revved up with the right kind of fluids. Coconut oil. I use on my hands everywhere for a moisturizer, where I need it. Here's my water jug. And I have a video on YouTube on coconut oil too, and on Bruce Five's book about that, Dr. Five. Very interesting, very helpful. Okay, waiting for Godot. It's now May 19th. I'm waiting. Not for Godot. I've never read that work, so I don't know exactly what that means. From now, I probably shouldn't be using that word so much unless I had read the whole book. You never know what you might be saying that you don't know you're saying. No, I'm waiting for you know what. For responses to my billion queries, as well as responses from friends and family to whom I've given or sent pieces and parts of the Molasses Moon manuscript. I've continued to receive welcome and helpful feedback from Lonnie. He's read through chapter 11. Yesterday I asked him if he thought my including the query letters would bore some readers. He said the opposite was true, that the letters established the suspense of wondering what responses I would get. He said one of his favorite parts of the book was my build-up to and detailing of the receipt of the response from Jeff Herman on St. Patrick's Day. Thanks again, Lonnie. This is from the present. I don't think you know how much your feedback meant to me, and still does. All my nephews actually have contributed in different ways to my books, and as they got in the way of the writing, of course, they got put in the book. Each one of them. I wanted to give more space to all the people in my life and my books, but I just had to put them in as they fit when they were, like I say, in the way of the writing. And I don't mean in the way in the normal sense. It was in the good sense of anything that got in my way, got in my books, in a warm, loving sense. Well, I don't know. There are things that get in your way that aren't warm and loving, but, well, we won't go into that because they usually weren't people, or at least not people that are in my daily life. Boy, I could really get myself in a knot here. So I'll go back to the book. Okay. Lonnie's feedback. Yeah, that thing on response from Jeff Herman and the queries, that was the most welcome feedback I think actually that I've had on any book. It's one of those things that it's probably the main asset of the book. And until you get comfortable with your own security of your own value and your highest assets, they can actually work themselves into the insecurity as being seen as liabilities. So Lonnie's wisdom and awareness here still means even more than he knew, because he helped me turn one of the greatest assets into the book into a stronger awareness of it being that. And there's a lot more to it, but we'll go back to the book now before I get more knots going. It's a good thing there's at least one agent in NYC who sees a living, breathing human being behind a query and responds. Otherwise, the query part of Molasses would be pretty empty. Well, there was the famous memoir response from Betsy of Houghton Mifflin. Lonnie said he laughed out loud several times while reading the memoir chapter 10. An insert here, I'm not sure if I quoted or inserted this before in the book, but Charlie said the same thing, and he was still laughing whenever he talked about it, that I made him laugh in that part. Yeah, I make myself laugh too now. He wasn't sure if he saw the humor so well because he knows me, or if that chapter would be funny to anyone. I'm hoping it'll be even funnier to someone who doesn't know me. But then, having read up to chapter 10, a person might know me pretty well. Lonnie's feedback about my queries being interesting was a huge lift. I had been uncomfortable every time I merged one into my moon books, one of my moon books. Yet I desperately wanted to include this correspondence. I've been compelled to document my effort. Thanks, Lonnie, and bless your perfect heart. Now, from the present, now I've lived long enough to learn that whenever I'm compelled to do something like this, even like uploading these videos, when I'm at the most, usually on an average, getting just 10 views, but 10 views on every video or more, sometimes 30, actually is pretty good. With that many people having some of these ideas into their minds and having their minds, just kind of stimulated and expanded so they can percolate on their own, you might do something good. But anyway, still in the present of 2012, following those, there are different types of compulsions and obsessions, of course, and some are not healthy. They just don't satisfy. They push you to want more, and it never satisfies. A healthy obsession is something that is very satisfying, and it doesn't keep pushing you to get more because there is no satisfaction. It pushes you because there is a sense of satisfaction and completion and just a feeling of healthiness, of accomplishment in a very positive sense. So I kind of knew even then that the query letters were probably still very important, even though at the time I kept having the concern that would these just be boring to readers? And I was just so glad to know that it did create suspense, like Lonnie confirmed here. Asterisk. Back into the book. Catherine K. has finished the reading of the Molasses manuscript. I mailed a copy by priority mail 5694, along with an astrology chart for her granddaughter in Spain, for which Catherine paid me. Yay, money. I could get a perm, but I'll probably buy some pretty kitchen towels with moo cows on them instead, knowing me. One of the reasons, too, my hair always looks kind of crazy and sticks out in places and isn't all tamed. That's just part of me. I come as is. And I don't like being prim and proper with every hair in place. So this is all done on purpose. I was trying just to figure if I left my hair alone enough. Well, of course, I wash it every day. Use coconut oil on it at night. And I do comb it now and then. But it still pretty much goes its own way. I just figured maybe if I let it just do its own thing, it might look like it's supposed to look for me. And I won't feel the need all the time to get a perm. It's not very comfortable, you know, even though I like supporting my cousin Carol Rocchio's business, Carol Copper now. And you'll know her on Facebook if you are on there at this time in the present of 2012. Anyway, I like to be as natural as possible, mostly because of laziness. It just makes things easier. And I think what you are comes out more the less you try to artificialize yourself, or whatever you want to call it. Well, not that I think that's wrong. It's just another fun game to play. But I save all my money just to keep going in a career that I know might never pay. At least not enough for earning a living. Okay, enough from now. And Catherine K. But I'll probably, buy some pretty kitchen towels. I received a note from KK513 saying she had received the manuscript. On the 14th of May, I received the manuscript through page 196, with spelling and typo corrections on a separate page of comments. It was a pleasant shock to have someone put my work as a top priority like that. She opened her comments. On second reading, I like your opener, but it didn't grab me the first time. Pages 2 and 3 put me off both times. I don't like to be told what my reactions are supposed to be. I avoid stand-up comics. She went on to say she liked the thirsty Hegel dog scene on second reading. In both readings, she liked my wolf driving the roles. Later in her comments, I discovered that what had put her off in the preface was that I termed it dangerous and cursed. She thought I was being serious and putting my book down. I even forgot that now. I thought everybody would know I was just kind of joking, but you never know for sure. I wrote back thanking her profusely for being so prompt and mentioned that I was attempting backwards humor with my cursed book, noting, as soon as someone tells me something is cursed or dangerous, I want to buy it and read it right now, believing it to be blessed and important to my safety. Look at the relative success of the Adam and Eve story. I would have been mercilessly mesmerized by that apple until I tasted it. On the 18th of May, I received the remainder of the manuscript from Catherine, along with the rest of her comments. I asked her if she was turbocharged. She is amazingly speedy and thorough. She did feel that I was complaining a bit much in some of my pit grave moods. I had meant the moods to be humorous to my readers, me laughing at myself, as well as informative of how to keep going or keep climbing out of the pit. To do this, you have to admit to being in one, hiss, moan, and laugh at the same time. This is another one of those things now from the present. I think it's like the query letters. It's something that did bother me at the time. Am I just being moaning and groaning and boring in that sense? But at the time I also knew that by exposing my insecurities and the pain at the time, I was hoping it would help other people get through those kinds of things and to realize it's natural. You don't need a pill every time you feel a little bit depressed or down. I mean, a lot of times there are valid reasons, and I think even sometimes you get depressed just because you're exhausted and need a recharge. And the only way to slow some people down enough to rest is to make them feel a little bit melancholy. Otherwise, they're buzz-whizzing around all the time. So, another thing that I still feel insecure about, but it's one of those things still that has the kind of emotional push and drive that means, in the long run, to most people reading, it's going to be one of the vital assets of the book. Too many people feel wrong, ashamed, or even afraid of being sad, disappointed, depressed, whatever you want to call it. Those kind of mood swings are natural. Yes, they can get overdone and work into something that maybe isn't healthy. But I think we've gone to the other extreme of being afraid of anything but what to me seems like fake or phony happiness. If you force that for too long, you're going to have the equal and opposite reaction. It just isn't real. Life isn't a bowl of cherries. Just sometimes. It's not a bed of roses. Maybe only sometimes. It's the way it is now anyway. There are continuums and ups and downs, and they're natural. And at least on the downs, you just remember there will be another up. And unfortunately, when you're up, there is probably going to be another down. But maybe I think sometimes we go on the continuums if I can do this right, on a up and down, but gradually it still goes on an upward slant with the ups and downs, so that eventually some of the downs are higher than your previous ups. Yeah, I guess that's the way it would be. Okay. Hiss, moan, and laugh at the same time. And if you can't laugh at the same time, at least know you will when you look back on it. I'm reading this book now, even though I was in pain a lot at the time of the emptiness and the longing of wanting so badly to get a breakthrough and get paid. Have my work read and appreciated. Have it do its job. Okay, back to the book. On May 23rd, I received from KK a used, well-read, with text underlined by prior readers, yellow trade paperback book, a self-help how-to on positive thinking. I'm now looking forward to comments from the next person who reads Molasses, since this epilogue is supposed to collect these responses. Here again, from the present. As far as overall balance, I think people need to know that it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset, frustrated. It has to be okay. That's just the way things are. If you're a human being who can always be positive, to tell you the truth, I might go like this and be afraid to be around, because eventually there's going to be a volcanic eruption. I mean, generally, yes, making a habit of being positive, I agree, is a good thing. But if you carry it too far, you're going to be afraid of any negative emotions. And to me, that's the ultimate of an unhealthy approach to life. It's just not real. It doesn't reflect reality. Although developing a positive attitude in general can make your reality a little better. So again, it's balance. And the balance might be dynamic. No might be to that one. I think I'm writing another book now, interjecting into the previous book. Okay, waiting for more to collect in the epilogue. Oh, hum, yawn. I'll wonder if I'll ever hear from Jeff Herman again. I wonder if I'll ever be able to write to him again. I dislike feeling like a pest. And I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my time and his. I imagine he's formed the opinion by now that I'm definitely weird, as he originally thought. Too weird. Oh well. I know I come across like a screwball at times. I'm not criticizing myself or complaining, merely facing facts. Screwballing is a side effect of not taking yourself too seriously. I wonder if a person who doesn't take himself seriously can succeed. I know the answer to that. Yes. In daily small things. But I don't know yet about breaking into NYC. I don't know how you have to take yourself to succeed there yet. And now from 2012, I don't care. I can see in many ways I'm much better off with Kindle's KDP and Select program, with the free promos and all the creativity that Jeff Bezos has brought to Amazon and instilled in most of his people. This is a good place. And not that I want NYC to fail. I want them to succeed too. I just want, because of Amazon and all of these programs, it just could spill over some of the wisdom and creativity in it. The just sheer enthusiasm, the spirit being let free instead of choked and dampened and censored. It could make the established New York houses, could make them even better, more profitable, more successful. I hope so. I don't think one has to cancel the other. I think they can be mutually, whatever you want to call it, stimulating. Free enterprise. Back again to 1994. Maybe I just don't have enough luck. Am I complaining? I never know for sure. I wish I knew more about Godot. I really ought to read the book. Or play. KK says it may be a play rather than a novel, as I had originally thought. One thing I do know. I love writing my books. Mood swing moon books. Investigations into the ridiculous. That's pretty good nutshell. I could probably go on forever. I may have to. Now, even where I am, that I've got the situation set up to get my books out and get them sold and read. I don't want to quit writing. In fact, this is making me read this book is making me want to go ahead and put on, get Sliding Down Moonbeams ready to put on Kindle, and then finish Magic Moonbeam. It's half done, which will jump right into the present and hopefully describe how some of Amazon's programs have worked for a lot of people that would have remained in oblivion. Okay, I hate to say it, but I think my vacuum, the one in which I write, is collapsing in upon itself. I may need a nap, but I don't have time for one. Poor me. Groan. Moan. I'm smiling at my yawning, pitiful self here, still attempting humor in the pit, Asterisk. Oh yes, I thought I should mention that I don't ever just wait and piss and moan. At the same time, I laugh and do something to move myself ahead on my road to success. Except when I'm taking a break, of course. Speaking of which, I think I'll print a copy of this and send it to KK for her approval of my summary of her comments on Molasses. And I'll return KK's copy of The Last Self-Help Book Before Getting Results by Jerome Lund, Ph.D. Yes, he has one of those, a doctoral degree, as well as a good attitude and a pleasant, sincere, conversational, yet to the point style. I should take his advice, but I'm too busy moaning and groaning and taking breaks. It's more fun. That was from Here and Now. Maybe. I just had a couple pieces of the delicious roast beef I cooked yesterday for Sunday dinner. Today is May 23rd. I'm also going to be soon be busy writing Sliding Down Moonbeams and laughing myself into oblivion. Well, not really. I'm already there. I'll see if I can laugh myself into fame and fortune instead. Asterisk. Next, we have a visit from Lonnie, June 11th. And maybe I'll leave that one a precious sharing for the next video. I don't know how much time I took up this time. But, okay, it's a good pausing point, it seems. It's interesting. Getting close to being done. I don't know how many more pages or how much longer it'll take. Yes, it doesn't matter. One day at a time, as they say. Some of these old sayings are still worth repeating. Take care. Don't take yourself too seriously, just as seriously as you need to. Be sad when you have to, and be happy when you can, without forcing it.